and revealed to him that he had £6,000 plus she had 3 children either supposed to university or now due for university who couldn't go, including myself, my immediate senior who later became governor of my state, and my late sister who became
This is
Maternity Line.
Maternity Line. Because we have no way of knowing how much he earned and how much he will bring back to us. I was astonished to hear this. And so I said,
99.3 Nigeria Info. We are the Nigeria's #1 talk news and sports radio station. Apologies for starting behind the schedule. We're trying to fix one of the systems in the studio here, the system that will enable me connect me to my guest online. I'm a bit livid and I feel like I can't pretend forever. Yeah, because I've been here and then this is happening, although the engineers are seeing to it. Dr. Renner, I'm sure you're online, you are listening in right now. Also, Mr. Shegun Dinola, I'd love for you to please check your WhatsApp, your message on WhatsApp. Okay, so Lagos, it's Maternity Line show. I am Zaynab Yakin, in case you don't know already. Of course, I've said 99.3 Nigeria Info. Yeah, this is where we talk everything and anything current affairs, and we don't limit our discussion to that. Also, issues that affect mother and child, maternal health. All right, so every Friday we do this, and I'm glad to be back in your speakers this afternoon, and then Friday afternoon ending the month of August. Yes, I'm Zaynab Yakin, your host.
more conversation, more talk, more right after this.
Are you an independent female artist, a producer, a DJ, a songwriter who wants to take a career to the next level? Then Her Sound 2.0 is for you. Enjoy comprehensive training and mentorship, access to support from a community of female music professionals, collaborative opportunities, 2 days free bootcamp, and more. To register for Her Sound 2.0, visit www.hersoundglobal.com to register for free. To complete your application, post a 30-second video on Instagram telling us why you want to be part of Her Sound 2024. And don't forget to use the hashtags. Hashtag Her Sound Peach, Her Sound 2024. It's time to hear her.
Her Sound 2024 is brought to you by Church Sweet Nation and powered by Google. Supported by Boomplay, Cloud Africa, Grunge Cake, Mavico Foods. Media partners, Cool FM, Wazobia FM, Nigeria Info, Pulse NG, and Heap TV.
For more information, visit at Her Sound Global on Instagram.
You are listening to your #1 station for talk.
Your #1 station for talk.
99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
All right, 99.3 Nigeria Info. This is Maternity Line Show. I am Zaynab Yakin. I'm trying as much as possible to keep it real and happy on the show today, though I'm a bit unhappy. Yes. So today we are continuing our conversation on common illnesses, childhood illnesses, and the treatment. The conversation we started last week with my guest, Noisy Naija Pediatrician. I hope we are able to get a doctor. I hope I am able to get a doctor in on the show today. I mean, a lot is happening right now, but our engineers are seeing to it. So Mr. Shegunde Nola, check your WhatsApp message. We need to rectify. I mean, we need to salvage the situation here. Okay. All right, Lagos. Last week, when Dr. Renner was on the show, Doctor did say a lot, and I would love to do a quick recap on that. But before then, let me quickly tell you that to be a part of this conversation, go online right now. Facebook is Nigeria Info FM. Also YouTube. We are Nigeria Info FM on X. On Instagram, we are at Nigeria Info FM Lagos. All right. Also, the number I'll start all over again. The numbers to call 0201-277-0993. That's the line for male callers. Then for female only line 0201-465-7190. While I'm still trying to get Dr. Renner, Noisy Naija Pediatrician, to join me on the show, I'd love to do a quick recap, Lagos, as I said earlier. So last week, right, Dr. Renner on the show did emphasize that children who are below the age of 5 years are most vulnerable to infections because those are ages where infections occur quite frequently. Dr. Renner did state, sorry, Lagos. It's all for you, right? Yeah. Thank you so much, Engineer Wale. All right, so last week also, Doctor did say that upper respiratory tract infections, such as common cold, is the commonest of all. I mean, common cold is the commonest of all. Essentially, anything that involves the respiratory tract in the nose and in the upper part of the throats. Those are upper respiratory tract infections, right? Mr. Shegun, I can see your call. Please go back on WhatsApp and get the doctor to join in via the Zoom link. All right. Thank you so much for your call. I can see your call already. Right. So, doctor also mentioned that otitis media, which is ear infections, tonsillitis and pharyngitis are also some of the commonest childhood illnesses, especially in children who are below 5 years. He mentioned that gastroenteritis, which is watery stool, diarrhea, he said shouldn't be taken for granted. It shouldn't be taken with levity, as it could lead to emergency situation resulting from dehydration. He spoke on skin infections as well. He spoke on skin boil. He touched on malaria. He touched on fever, and he did say that pneumonia, meningitis, and many more. He did note that pneumonia is the biggest killer of children globally. All right. Though he mentioned that they are not. He did say that they are not so common, but they should be paid honorable and special attention. They deserve special and honorable mention. Using his words. I'm going through a lot right now. I'm going through a lot, and I'm still keeping things alive. Oh yeah, give me kudos, Lagos. Yeah, just to do a quick recap. Now this is me checking on my guest via Zoom. Okay, please stay right there, hang in there, Lagos. This is all for you. Now, if you listened to the show last week and you were able to take one or two away, it's because of you. Dr. Renner Ayodele is back with us on the show today, and you love to call in and say one or two while we are connecting with our guest. I think Doctor is online already. Yes, he's always been. The fault is from here. Hello, Dr. Renner. Good afternoon. Hello, Dr. Ayodele. Doctor, good afternoon. All right.
Hello, Zaynab.
Hello, Doctor. My sincerest apologies. Lagos sincerest apologies, by the way, for keeping you online for quite a while. We don't take this opportunity for granted, so please forgive us, all right?
Sometimes technology can act funny.
Oh, right. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Doctor, you just gave a dramatic entry, being the global leader of constituency members. You scratched your eyes. What was going on, Doctor? It's always a drama with you.
It is, isn't it?
Right.
It's my constituency members.
Right.
If there's no drama free day with them. So I'm channeling that.
Right. The inner child. Right. All right. Thank you so much, Doctor. Thank you for the patience. Now, Lagos, once again, the numbers to call 0201 277 0993 0201 465 7190. You can as well drop your WhatsApp, your messages on our WhatsApp portal. 0809 597 5805 is the number to do that. Dr. Ayodele Renner, Noisy Naija Pediatrician, is live on the show for the second time, back to back, right? So, Doctor, before you came on, I did reiterate on some of the points mentioned last week. I don't need to go back to all of that again, except you would love for us to hear again from you. The things we touched on last week with this talk about otitis media. We touched a bit on tonsillitis. You spoke on pneumonia being the biggest killer of children in the world. You said a lot, and I would also love to remind you that last week we were unable to treat most of the questions I had before me. I asked about common childhood illnesses. I also asked you how to differentiate between a cold and flu in children. I also asked the best ways to manage fever in children. I asked, can childhood illnesses be treated with natural remedies? So today, I would love for us to just go straight into it, right? Doctor, please talk to us. Again, Lagos, Dr. Renner Ayodele is a consultant pediatrician with 11 years of active clinical work, research, and training. He is also a social media influencer and health content creator. He was nominated severally for awards, right? If we keep talking about that, time will go. But I also love to add that he's a co-founder of Agnosis Care on Demand, a digital health platform, and so many others. Due to doctors' position, because he does a lot of education online. His work in health and education has positioned him as an authority in pediatrics, and this has led to partnership and collaboration with many renowned brands in the banking industries and top other brands that cater to children in terms of diapers, series, and many more. So this is why he's here to address common childhood illnesses and their treatment today on Maternity Line. So, Doctor, let's segue. Let's just go to my question. So, Doctor, what are the long-term effects of recurring childhood illnesses on a child's health? If you would permit me to start that way.
So, Zaynab, apparently, because I was watching on YouTube.
All right.
Yes, I was watching on YouTube initially, and apparently you're not feeling too good. I'm so sorry to hear that. This is my constituency member.
That's what they do.
Cold. I'm so sorry. Please.
Thank you. Thank you.
Go and drink some lemon tea with ginger to help to relieve some of the symptoms.
Wait, Doctor, yes. Wait, just wait right there. I should go and drink some lemon tea. Have you looked at me very well? Would I add more weight or lose some?
It's not true that lemon actually makes people lose weight. I don't know where people get that idea from, that drinking lemon is going to help you slim down or burn fat.
Okay.
Like, it's the same way in which people are now saying that, okra helps, to enhance performance. Like,
So I
Okay,
shall go and
no
look for
problem.
lemon
You know,
tea.
I guess when something starts to trend, it starts to trend, right?
Okay, doc.
Shall go and make lemon tea and ginger.
Yeah, let's go.
So guys, yeah, so really important, honestly, really important question that you've asked. So when it comes to these infections, it's important that we take into cognizance the common ones,
Right.
okay? The common ones. And so, you know, being the common cold, Zaynab, you've got to repeat the question.
Oh, okay. Oh, doctor, my apologies. I thought you got it. So, the question I asked, I had a question. We've touched on some of the questions from last week, so I didn't want to go back to them. So I asked that what are the long-term effects of recurring childhood illnesses on a child's health when a child keeps falling sick back to back at all times? What are we getting wrong? What are we not getting wrong?
Okay, so with recurrent infections, if they're mild, the effects are not so much because the child ends up not really missing school. They can go into school. It doesn't disrupt very much if they are mild, you know, just the common cold. But if the infections are so severe that the child actually requires admission repeatedly, then it means that the child is taking time out of school. School grades can drop. You also find out that income of the home can reduce if it is families that they have to work every single day for them to, you know, feed. And then the parents are spending time, you know, in the hospital rather than at work. And so that can impact on, you know, family income. Still on the issue of the child, sometimes they find out that with recurrent infections that are severe and significant, the child loses appetite and stop eating. They can suffer from what we call acute malnutrition, such that they are not eating enough, they are vomiting, they are refusing feeds. And when a child has acute malnutrition, the likelihood that they will fall sick with another infection in a short period is high. The likelihood that they will have a prolonged time to recovery is also high. And the likelihood that antibiotics, you know, and recovery will be challenging and difficult is also likely to be higher. If every time we have to admit them or they have an infection, we give them antibiotics, they might develop what we call antibiotic resistance, such that the organisms that we are trying to treat with these antibiotics become resistant to the antibiotics that we are using. And then we now have to move to what we call second-line antibiotics, which might be more expensive and have even worse side effects than our usual first-line antibiotics. So these are some of the short-term effects of malnutrition. The more long-term effects of infections, the more long-term, you know, results of infections might include things like iron deficiency, anemia, which will cause them to not learn properly in school, lack concentration, and eventually might even hamper their growth. So these are the short and long-term, you know, results of recurrent significant infections.
Now, doctor, before I move to my next question, I love the fact that you emphasize school like 2 or 3 times, even when you started. Now, doctor, here is the thing. I think this is me talking to Lagos parents and guidance right now. Now, if you got a child or children in the earliest part of their developmental years or ages, you know, you speak of newborn, you speak of infants, you speak of toddler, preschoolers, you know, children between the ages of 3 and 4. You never know, this conversation may benefit you. You know, because I want to assume, you know, that many parents are out there already gearing up to enrolling their kids in crash once school resumes, and we are talking about less than 10 days away. So it's best for you to call in. Please do not hesitate to call in and ask noisy Naija pediatrician Dr. Renner Ayodele all your questions. You are the reason doctor is back on the show today, right? Please do well to call in and send your messages. All right, so doctor, now let's move. Another question I would love to ask is, how can a mom or parents generally balance work and family responsibilities when a child is ill? It can be very distracting.
It's a really, really thing. It's a really tough thing. I mean, you know, like trying to describe, what happens. So this is how difficult it is. Abroad, what happens is that if a mother has to bring a child to the hospital for that day and she has to miss work, maybe the doctor decides that they want to eat the child. is not giving any time. She's not giving any leave. So she get paid for those days, or she's she takes those days out of her leave, or she gets someone else to stay with the child at home.
And she
or
even
in the
gets
hospital.
deduction for not being at
So here we're even still more lenient. For not being at work. Here we're more lenient, whereby I say, simply because the mother brought her child to the hospital or to the clinic for that day, actually the mother sick of, say, you know what, this mother here with the clinic, she wouldn't go to work, so give my mother sick of. We think that's going to have 3 days of, home care.
Right.
So please let her stay at home with the child for 3 days. But even the employer, for those 3 days, some employers are not going to take it. They're not going to, pay the mom, and so it's a very difficult situation. Unfortunately, I never see dads, being the ones to bring the children to the hospital in this part of the
I love that you address that.
Occasionally, maybe once. Yes, so once. Because employers cannot understand why a father would actually be the one to bring the children to the hospital when the mother is there. So even the culture doesn't even permit the dad to be one to bring the hospital. So when the dad asking question of what the child has, it's like, so let me call my wife. Maybe my wife will has more information on me. But to the seriousness of the matter, the reality is admission are very inconvenient. Admission very inconvenient from a work perspective, they're very from a family dynamic perspective. So the mother leave that children at home, the sometimes is not really equipped to take the children alone. So that's the much I see the mother is on the ward, she's eager. Doctor, when are we being discharged? But madam, you got here just like 2 hours ago. So I really don't know when you're going to be discharged because they're eager to go back home to care for the children that they left at home. So admissions are requiring questions just disrupt the family as family focus.
Right, Dr. So somebody said, okay, allow me those question last week. I think that I allow you to ask a question. So this question, Zaynab, please, little girl 10 months, and I was as of last week, asked about her sister. I don't mean that small, but she's not oral, like she lies, and I've even tried some brown food friends. What can I do, or what can I do, or should I wait? Let me do. They're gaining a lot of cause on people.
Sorry, yes, that's radio. Radio is very, it comes and goes quickly. Right. But if your daughter's weight, your weight is the important thing to be that we are not getting weight measures for at 10 months to make sure that she within expected weight range for her age for high. Everybody's and healthy, it doesn't mean that they're well. Is she accepting the food that you are giving her? That's more important for us. It's really whether it's or whether it's brown family food. Any other thing that you are giving her, if she was and her measurements and how it is like what is supposed to for her, even if she appears and not chubby like the other baby, there's nothing for you to worry about. So what I would like you to do, make sure she is weight as possible. Let us get her weight, her chart in her immigration card. If she is above the danger line, there is nothing for you to worry about. Okay?
Yeah. Doc, I have a very important question because I actually witnessed before I even became a mom talk. And I've also got a video or mother online, I think a few months back, children fall ill and it also gets your insurance, mommy, will I be fine? I'm in pain, So doctor, I want to what are effective ways to combat during illness, during illness?
And will be this on the chat.
Okay.
It's the best way to do breastfeeding. Breastfeeding. The presence of the baby is the sure and steady comfort. Breastfeeding. At any age, really, the presence of the mother, the child, the discomfort that comes from those companies comes from pain, it comes from fever, it comes from the lack of familiar environment, especially when they are being admitted. So fever can be handled medical now that or any nature like ibuprofen that can tackle pain. And the lack of their environment is something that is difficult to deal with. That's admitted and the world associates in the non-mixes something like actually to relieve them to mobile with such that they should smack the factories try to feel makes that they don't injection. Oh no, don't people that have no times. But these are help children feel better during this. Not the provide and action for children. So just it's possible for you that they have too energy to digest, like pap, like they are of course that resistance. But if cost is also a please that so it's 200 everything that is in their tummy. I don't be discouraged give them time from and look into your healthcare.
Oh, doc, I don't hear fast on that could serve to them during illness, right? Doc, you have been region. My question is, what would your advice parent do with meals, toilets, or you to that? More kind of nutrition. I want more the protein, veggies, fat and oils, fruit, and protein is what has vitamin A and zinc except for the and the immune competent. I think you like of being but a lot of there and we start laying down can fix all the X-ray like it anything wrong with that except at night. and there are more children out.
Not children, it isn't the number of children sleep. There is also children this is just again children really want to be active as you with anybody's fault. Don't have one less also who are sitting down but usually to brings out one brings out themselves so we can them. So everyone needs fitness. So we have to see that like much stuff.
Dr. No come back once by is higher my passage.
Now 3 during 4.
Of is doing it from the and
welcome back to Pure Bro being crossover, and we are excited to keep that momentum going. Don't miss out on this perfect opportunity for your kids to discover and nurture innate talent in the ball and other sports. So true in the mind or not is being more to and the go to 0 or 9 program